1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 641. Joining us once again for a couple of minutes is State Fire Marshal, Louisiana State Fire Marshal Butch Browning. Hey, Mr. Butch, welcome back to KEEL. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Butch, we have a horrible twist in that case in Natchitoches with the regard of the death of the baby. Tell us what is the latest this morning.
Yeah, I mean, this is so sad, so tragic. So, as you know, we arrested a female who we believe is responsible for this, and we thought that other arrests were on the way, and the facts have come forward, and we've actually arrested the mother with principal to first-degree murder in the death of a 6-month-old child. So our investigation is still active. More arrests are possible. I mean, the investigative team of our office and the Natchitoches Police Department have been working very diligently for days into every night, and we're just trying to get all these facts together because it's so tragic and it's so senseless as death.
Principal to first-degree murder. What does that mean?
Well, that means that the individual had processes in this commission of this crime. May have been there for part of the crime, or may have been there for planning the crime. That's what principal means, but had a participation in the execution of the crime.
At what point, and I'm going to try and tiptoe around this as delicately as I can, at what point in what kind of crime where fire is involved in death do you or does the fire marshal get involved?
Well, we're required by law to investigate arsons. We're also required by law to investigate every death involved with fire, as well as any burn injury of over 5% of a body. So, many of the investigations that we make aren't death investigations. About 65 or 70 a year are death investigations.
As you guys, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, and when the crime rises to the level of homicide, it really becomes very important that all resources are deployed. So, in fact, we can get all the truths, and in this case, a tremendous amount of resources were deployed between our office and the Natchitoches Police Department to gather all these facts. This led us to these 2 arrests and possibly more.
As the Natchitoches Police and possibly other investigative bodies besides yours are looking into this, do you along the way know everything they know?
Yes. In this particular case, the investigators worked in tandem, and it made a very professional investigation. Of course, a lot of these investigators know each other because I know that our deputies work with specifically the Natchitoches Police Department on other cases on a regular basis. So they're working together. Knowledge, their partnerships they've forged in the past make these investigations work real well.
Butch, I'm talking to Butch Browning, State Fire Marshal. What motivates a mother to kill her own baby or be involved
in this way, nonetheless?
Yeah, in this tragic way, a burning death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately, we do believe we have an idea what the motive is, but because the investigation is still active, we really can't speak to that. But that is a question that a lot of people are asking, and hopefully in the very I guess maybe a week or so, we may be able to put more information out. And I think I've explained this to you before. One of our biggest responsibilities in the Fire Marshal's office as we go out and investigate these crimes, especially a tragic death like this, we owe the community, we owe the family, we owe the friends answers, but we give those answers through facts. And I think that as these facts emerge, it will be disturbing to people, but we will put that information out once we're able to do that. And as you know, we're working very closely with the district attorney's office, who now has the enormous task of moving this case forward. So much of the direction that we're getting now from them is very important as we collect these facts.
You had said the other morning when we were talking about this case a little bit, you had said at that time, you said there are other people, you said there are other persons of interest, we expect more arrests. The other morning, I would assume the baby's mom was to whom you were referring?
Yes, she was a person of interest very early on. in the investigation, and of course, obviously, has become charged with one of the crimes.
What about the father? What any other relatives that you may have on your radar right now? What can you tell us about any other folks?
Well, again, I really can't get into what the next steps are. There are an enormous amount of people that have been interviewed and are providing information. To say that the persons that we're looking at are relatives or friends, I really can't say that at this point. But we are looking at every avenue right now. And again, a very tragic situation, and we've just got to get all of the information and bring everything to the district attorney, so this case could be properly remedied. But it's the Natchitoches community is a very unique community, a very good community, very caring community, and I can tell you this death has sent shockwaves to everyone there. I mean, obviously people who don't even know this family. So it's been a very hard week and a half for that community.